Aleworks Brewing Company has been open for about 14 years now. I've had the pleasure of being on the team for half of that time, and when Aleworks started, it was doing your base styles, very rudimentary craft beer, and we have since grown to pushing all kinds of limits on different styles, ingredients, from IPAs to sours to a phenomenal cellar age program. We're really just purveyors of fine ales and lagers. Aleworks has always had a really good presence in Richmond, and being able to connect with the folk festival gives us an opportunity to celebrate with Richmond a bunch of different international occasions and folky things, if you will. We make styles of all kinds from different histories and backgrounds and cultures and recipes, and being able to blend with a festival that has music from all over, different culinary things and activities. It's just a really cool opportunity for Aleworks to show what we do with a festival that's about showing what other people do. Hazy Folk beer. Hazy Folk is a hazy IPA, and they're the hotness right now. Hazy IPAs are easy to drink, with great flavors. They can range from all kinds of things. So if you want a beer that's going to appeal to just the masses, and we're going to nail it every time like we do here at Aleworks Brewing Company, Hazy Folk, just a recipe that practically wrote itself. New England style IPAs are on the forefront of what IPAs are today. So to be relevant, for lack of a better word, but keep pushing the boundaries of what people are looking for beer and what beer is nowadays. Doing a hazy IPA, a New England style, is just perfect style to get across what Aleworks wants to present to people. I would love having barbecue with Hazy Folk. It also pairs really well with different seafoods. A little more ethnic dishes like Mexican or Indian, things with a little spice in there. The fruit profile just always pairs well with the different spices and things you can get in different culinary offerings. Hazy Folk is a true banger of an IPA. All right, how about I show you how our brewing process starts? Here at Aleworks, our brewing day starts at the very top, where we have our mill. We're going to crush malted barley to expose some of those fine sugars that you need to make beer. We're going to throw it through an auger to our grist case, this big stainless steel tank up top. We put all of our recipe for the malt in there, and then when we start our brew day, which we usually start about 5:30 in the morning, so sometimes before even the sun comes up, we're going to mix that with hot water in our mash tun. That's our wood-clad vessel here. It's going to sit in there for about an hour, and that's where all the chemistry to get those fermentable sugars occurs. After an hour, we're going to move it into our boil kettle. This is the famous Aleworks boil kettle. It's brick-clad, direct fire. Not many breweries still use direct fire nowadays, but we think that's what really gives Aleworks its signature flavor and profile. There's where we add the hops, the famous ingredient for all beer. We'll boil it for an hour, add hops toward the end so you get a nice aromatic and fruity profile for Hazy Folk. And after an hour, we'll let the beer hang out for a second, just let all that protein and anything that developed in the boil settle out to the bottom. And we'll whip it through a heat exchanger, which rapidly cools the beer. And from there, we'll move it into one of our fermenters. Our fermenters is where we set our fermentation temp. We'll then pitch the yeast that goes in there. Then it'll hopefully, as it usually does, start fermenting. Yeast produce CO2 and alcohol while they eat the fermentable sugars that we made earlier. About 2 weeks later, we have beer. With Hazy Folk, we'll then dry hop, so we'll add hops to the top of the tank, get even more aromatics and delicious hop flavors in the beer, and that'll be set on hops for a few days, and then we'll move it over to our bright tanks. Our bright tank vessels is where we carbonate the beer, get the fizz and the bubbles. We force carbonate here, so we inject it with CO2, Over a course of a few hours, we'll get to that delicious carbonation level that all IPAs need, and it'll await packaging in our canning day. Yeah.